episode of The Simple Carry Life. I'm your Simple Carry Guide, Mr. Snapshot. Now in this video today, we're going to be talking about 4 ways how not to hold a firearm while shooting and the 1 way that you should hold a firearm while shooting. Now for those of y'all who saw the last video, you see we have a weapon here. So whenever we're going to pick up this weapon to demonstrate anything, before we do that, we want to make sure it's clear and safe. No magazine inserted, no round in chamber, weapon is clear. Alright, so for the first way how not to hold a firearm when shooting, I call this position the teacup position. So whenever people go to shoot, they like to take their hand and place it up underneath the magazine wide. It's probably ways that people have seen it done, movies, TVs, and they think that's the best way to do it, when in actuality, it's not the best way to do it. So they'll pick up the firearm and place their hand underneath it. They have their dominant hand in the correct position, but that bottom hand isn't in a place to manage that recoil. So wherever you place your hands, you want to make sure that it's in the best position to manage the recoil, meaning that when you fire the weapon, all that energy and all that power that's coming back from the slide recoiling and the round leaving the chamber is going to cause the gun to recoil. So what you want to do is have your hands in the best position to manage that recoil, meaning you want to have them nice and tight so that when you shoot, you can manage how much the gun moves up and down. Now, the teacup position is not the best way to do that. Now, the second position that you shouldn't use when shooting a firearm is, I call it the holding the wrist. We're gonna call it the holding the wrist, because I assume that people think that the gun is gonna have all this kick and all this recoil and that it's gonna break your wrist, so you decide to hold your wrist, I guess to try to make sure that it's not too powerful. Again, that's not the best position because you have a hand off the firearm, you don't have as much control over the firearm, and you are managing the recoil as well. So we're gonna say no to the holding the wrist position. Now the third way how not to hold a pistol when firing is called the limp wrist. So limp wrist is pretty much when you grab your firearm, but you leave a lot of space in between the beaver tail and where your hand is positioned at, which will cause your gun to possibly malfunction. Because if you don't have the correct leverage, then when it's recoiling, it'll cause the gun not to recoil properly, and you could cause a double feed, a stovepipe, only because of how you're holding the firearm. So make sure that you have your hand high up in this beaver tail so that you have a great leverage over the firearm. Remember, limp wristing is not a viable position to shoot the firearm. 1, you don't have as much control, and 2, it's not comfortable. Now the 4th way that I've seen people try to shoot a firearm is one that I highly would not recommend, because if you use this shooting position, then you're gonna shoot the gun 1 time. And when I mean 1 time, I mean you're gonna pull the trigger once and you're gonna be done. So what you should never do when firing a weapon is grab the firearm and cross your thumbs behind the slide. So again, I tell y'all, this beaver tail is here to protect your hand from when the slide recoils. If you decide to go thumb over thumb behind the slide, that slide and all that pressure that's coming behind it is going to cut your hand, and you're gonna get what we call a Beretta bite. It's not fun. So again, never cross your thumbs behind a firearm. Never cross your thumbs behind a firearm. Now, I showed you all 4 ways how not to hold your pistol while firing. Now I'm going to show you the way that I like to hold my pistol when I fire. It's a way that a lot of people are holding now, a way that I've learned from other people. It's a great technique. So what you want to do, you want to grab your pistol with your dominant hand. You want to grab it to where there's no space in between the beaver tail and where your hand is. And you want to take your thumb, raise it up, and then take the meaty portion of your support hand and place it right inside of that dominant thumb. And then you're gonna take your thumbs and push them forward. And then you're gonna, with your other fingers, you're gonna wrap them around your dominant hand so that you have a nice, good grip on the gun. So I like that position the best when you're shooting. You're able to shoot and then manage that recoil. It doesn't recoil as much in your hand. It's a lot more manageable, and I would say that it's the easiest position to fire your pistol from. Like I said, it gives you that nice, tight grip. You can manage that recoil. Your thumbs are out of the way of the slide. They're in a position to where it's helping you and it's not hindering you. So I believe that the thumbs forward position is the best position when shooting a pistol. Now, if you have any questions, any comments, you can leave them down below, or you can message me. If you have anything that you want to discuss on the channel, any topics, anything related to firearms, we're gonna do right here on this channel. Now, you can also follow us on YouTube. We have our YouTube page up, Simple Carry Life. So go ahead and hop over there, give that page a like and subscribe, share it. Also, we have the Facebook fan page now. That's where a lot of the content is gonna be pushed out through. So go ahead over there, like and share that page too. Also over on Instagram, we have _Simple Carry Life _ like and share that page too. So we're giving y'all every platform. If you're on Instagram a lot, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're at, you'll be able to watch these videos. So until next time, Simple Carry Life.